Ready? Showtime.
All right.
Showtime.
What up? What up?
Don't
Good morning.
Get emotional. Sandy in a sundress. Only if y'all can see this. Sandy is dressed to impress. Who is she trying to impress? Sandy, who you trying to impress?
Well, after this, I have to shoot over to Fall River. I'm working on something that I'm gonna do a spa day with the girls. We're self-caring, and then after that, I have a baby shower. So I'm busy. So that's why I figured, you know what, get dressed for the day.
Fellas, she might try to, she might get a worthy opponent.
Ooh. Yeah, I'm feeling more worthy and worthier every day.
Oh, CJ, is she looking nice right now?
I know, it's probably because my girls are out. Let me fix them.
Wait, say that again?
Let me fix my girls. They're probably all out.
I'm not, listen.
But see?
You trying to play peekaboo?
Playing peekaboo.
Oh my God, Sandy. Yo, you know we love you. Sandy came earlier than CJ. She beat CJ to the punch.
Yeah.
Tyson.
Hey, I'm on a roll. I might even wake up early tomorrow and exercise.
Oh, loving it.
Part of my self-caring, you know. Trying to work on this thing.
There you go.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today we have something real special in the house today. CJ know this person, Sandy doesn't. But who we have in the house today, we have someone who is well qualified. Not qualified as in they advance in what they talking about, but they know what they talking about. Because I don't want you to sit up there and say, he ain't like this person. Don't compare him to no one. Nah. He's a known self. But CJ, could you please tell the people who we have in the house today?
Man, wow. This man right here, also, he's a mentor. Also, I don't want to,
You don't want to say too much. You don't want to say, you don't want to blow up spots.
The floor is going to be his. I don't want to say too much. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
And I'm not taking away from nothing away from this guy. You know what I'm saying? Well spoken, very articulate. This episode right here.
Thank you.
He's about to lay some gems.
He's laying some gems down for us?
Gems, yeah, so.
Okay, he's got some gems for us this morning. Let's go.
We got Mr. Troy Scott in the building. Appreciate you coming through.
What up, Troy? What's up?
How we doing?
Buddy? We good. What's up with you?
All right, let's have your questions.
All right.
Get to it.
You gotta introduce yourself.
Hold up. Sandy, hold on. Because he said something. You know how it is. Everybody, make sure your phones is
up.
Like he said something.
Phones
earlier.
up.
He said we need. What did you say we need earlier? When I was walking in here, me and you, you said you need that. You need that old thing back.
Old school pimping.
Oh, Biggie, give me one more chance.
I'm gonna be straight with you. I've listened to a couple of your sets.
All right.
And
all right.
Man, I wish it was a phone line. I could be like, man, you call these people and give you some OSP, old school pimping on, where you guys
old
at.
Old school pimping.
Especially when you guys were talking about people being. I liked a lot of things you said about the relationship things. And we're
gonna get to that next time. The next topic. But this topic right here is all about the business.
I'm just acknowledging. Hey, look, I see what you guys are doing.
Yes.
Praise God. God bless.
Amen.
Black folks trying to make it happen. Knowing where I've come from, I know your people.
Yes.
Right?
I know.
And I see people, grinding it out to, get to the next level. So I'll just leave that at that. It makes me feel good on the inside.
Yo, listen.
That's what's up.
That's what's up.
We trying. We trying over here.
Go ahead, Sandy, tell him.
I'm not telling anything. I'm just listening.
I'm tell him. Listen, Mr. Scott, this is what it's all about today. Yo, educated in real estate.
I know a few things.
I know you're educated. That's why I said you're educated. I'm going to fall back because I want Sandy and CJ to take over this. You know what I do?
I'm always ready. You know me.
So the thing about it is this, right? When it comes to real estate and a place of living, a lot of people don't understand what they need to know. Because if they're not a homeowner, they could speak from a perspective of thinking they know. But someone that actually know, that's why we brought you here today. I was so excited about this episode. I really am excited about this episode.
You can see it in his face. Look at he's blushing.
As soon as I seen him in the gym and he started talking to me. Listen, I'm used to women making me feel stupid, but when a man make me feel stupid, I'm like, I can't speak.
Women make you feel stupid? I caught that.
I said I'm used to women making me. I like educated women. You're not one of them.
Well, sorry, whatever. That's okay. I don't need to be educated. I don't need no degree to know what I know. I ain't spending that money.
Yo,
so now that you said that disclaimer,
go ahead. Yes. See,
I'm just an everyday cat, and I'm not gonna say I've been to school for things, but I've lived it. I give this example to where.
The floor is yours.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just say this, because I have a relationship with God, and sometimes you get into where people speak about knowing the chapter and verse or knowing what the Bible says, and what I reflect on is I may not know what it says word for word,
Cliches,
but I've read it and I lived it. Like, I have testimony. Like, you may read Job this or Matthew that, and I always tell people I got the book of Troy down like a T.
There you go.
Troy chapter.
There's
Hold on, I need to get the book of Dante according to him.
And I always say that because I've asked questions to God. I've asked him this, I'm asking that, and he's shown me. So, and it's the same thing with life, with real estate. I'm not a broker. I'm not as much as in real estate as that much, but I can tell you some things that I've learned firsthand, and give you some, basic stuff that I know you're definitely gonna need. And as you guys say on YouTube, and I can definitely provide value for you, if that makes any sense.
All
right. That is.
Okay.
So there you have it.
All right.
All right. So I guess I'll start it off. What is the credit score you need to even start the process?
So that's changed.
I've heard. That's why I'm trying to figure out what it is. Because before it was like 630, 640.
But when I got my first house, it was like 620.
Yeah.
All right. And
hold on. What year was that?
This was back in 2008. The market was tanking.
Okay.
All right. That was the first perception, right? That's when we had all
2008. Yeah. The real estate market thing had just happened. And I mean, even hearing you guys speak about credit, that's a whole nother
situation.
Situation where
I had to bring her back.
Huh? I had to build credit before I could even buy my first house.
That's where I'm at now, building my credit. Yeah.
And I know this ain't about that, but I guess it is in a way because you need a mortgage, right?
Mm-hmm.
So at the time, I didn't have any money, and I had to build credit. And one of the things that was revealed to me is you could get a CD and earn interest, and then borrow against it to build credit.
Hold up, Scott. The CD, because I have a CD right now.
Certificate of deposit.
Yeah, right. It's different now because the percentages is off. It's not like how it was back in the day.
Right. So when I did it, I was actually making money.
Right.
I made about $50 a year, and what that turned out to be is I remember it was Bank of Newport at the time. It was giving me 4% APY.
Yeah. See.
And I'm like, okay, where am I gonna get this money from? Well, thank you, Father. You have to use what you have available to you. So I was paying $600 a month in federal taxes. So all I did was claim zero exemption, and I got my $600 back. Now, this is a dangerous thing if you don't know what you're doing. If you don't know how to budget, you don't have any discipline, I'm not recommending this to anybody. I took that $600 every payday, right, 2 times a week, a month, gave me $1,200. I took that $1,200, bought a CD. From that CD, I was making 3 points. I had to pay 2 points or 2%. I was making 1%, even though, so I was making money, even though I was borrowing my own money. You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
Does that make sense to you?
Yep, makes sense.
Took that money, right, and stuck it into a high yield banking account, and then as soon as the bill came due, I just transferred money.
Transfer money back and forth. Yeah,
I did it with 5
because I did that sort of saving thing because I used to have a car note back in the day, and I took that money that I was paying for the car note and putting that into my account because to me I'm still paying it, but that's how I like paid myself. So it's
right,
sort of like the same type of thing.
Well, I was doing it with the tax money that was coming out of my check. Mm-hmm. Right now, I say that because that money sat in the account, and I knew that I had to pay taxes in January and February. So I took a 1 year or 6 month CD based on when it would have been matured, so that I had the money when Uncle Sam said, hey, I need that.
Hold on. You understand what he just said?
Uncle Sam?
No, the maturity.
Yeah, because it builds and grows and it adds interest.
No, because when you do a CD, right, and you try to take your money before it matures,
They tax you.
lose money.
Exactly.
Yeah, they tax you. Same thing, like when I was looking into my 401 and I was just like, oh, maybe I should take some money out to pay off my credit cards. And I was just like, nah, you know what? I'm going to save that. And you put that in a deposit into a home.
That's a whole nother
situation.
Some gems for you there.
Yeah, okay.
But there's a mindset for that too. So I built my credit, but I think at the time you needed like a 620 or something. And I had been through a divorce. I had been through some things, some immaturity, I guess, if you would say that.
Let's talk about that next.
All right. So got my score up, and from what I did with 5 different banks doing this very thing, my score shot to 720. And
hold up, could you please explain how you did that? Because people y'all can't just skip things.
There's a mathematical equation. I don't know if you went that through your credit.
I did it, so I know.
So it's 35, 35, 15, 10, and whatever. And the 2 most important ones are
ratio.
What's that?
The ratio.
Credit used, how much credit you have, how long you've had it, and how much of it you use, right?
Yeah, the ratio.
I just had somebody call me the other day because my score was 770 something and it dropped to 720, almost 680. And like, what are you doing? I said, I purposely did it. Because if I have a lower credit score, then I'm less of a target.
Yeah, I did that too.
Right? Well, what are you going to do? I take the money that I borrowed from this credit card or whatever the case may be, and you put it back. A month later, weeks later, score goes right back up. A lot of people don't know that.
Correct.
All right, so
I do that all the time.
I'm gonna be straight with you.
I did.
I did that. Well, I was a
See,
target
I'm
for
looking at you. I
hackers
didn't
and stuff
even
like
know
that when my credit score was high, and hackers were coming at my account like that left and right, and I'm like, what the hell's going on? So then when I dropped my credit score, I haven't got touched not once.
So here's a free gem. All right?
Free.
You got a credit card. I'm not gonna say anything because, and they front you, say, look, pay your whatever. We'll give you $20,000 for $900. Then there's another way around that, but I'm gonna speak to that. That's on YouTube too. You can, do with a Venmo and all that stuff, send yourself $1,000. They don't like that because you're kind of getting over on them. But for me, all right, you're gonna loan me 20 grand for 900. Okay, I'll do it. You take that 20 grand and you stick it somewhere, right? And it earns interest.
Interest, yes.
Right? Because when I'm gonna put it this way: while I'm doing it, I'm not paying interest for a year, so I could take 20 grand, stick it somewhere, let it make interest, and then give the money back.
Interesting.
All right.
Listen, Sandy.
So
I'm listening.
there's a ton of things you can do. Creative finance. That used to be a term in real estate too, where you can broker deals yourself, where you have a property that's $150,000 and you don't have all of it, but the owner is willing to, hey, look, they could take a portion of the loan until you pay it off. There's a ton of things you can do to get a deal done as far as buying a home. But I'm getting off track here.
No.
Speaking of loan, right? I want to ask you, what is a good credit score a person should have to qualify for a loan?
I think right now, if I'm guessing, right?
All right.
I think it's 6 or 720.
You should have something in the 700s.
Yeah, 720. I think I heard 680.
I heard 680. That's why I was questioning.
I'm gonna tell you why.
I knew it was 620, and then someone said, "No, it's 680 now."
I'm thinking back when I did my home, but
when you did yours, because it was like
my first.
When we did the car. I know. When you did because like 6 was the interest rates is higher now.
Right.
Yeah,
so when you get something in the 7s. Because again, it doesn't matter if you're in the high 8s, if you're in the high 7s, like if you're in the 7s, you're good.
So I'm gonna give you a rule of thumb.
Go ahead, rule of thumb.
This is just what I learned. You can show. Does everybody know what equity is?
Yes.
You can show 20% equity in anything. Somebody's gonna give you some money, and it basically says that I got skin in the game, right? And simply put, a mortgage company sees you wanting to buy a house for $200. You put 20% down, right? That's 40 grand. Am I wrong? Is my numbers right? 10% would be 20,000.
Yeah, you should be right.
So if you put $40,000 on a house, and then you don't make the payment, the bank's gonna be like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. We'll take that. That's a car too. All right. Now, where the finagling comes in is depending on what your credit score is, how much interest they're gonna charge you.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons to everything. Now, when you're buying a car, the interest doesn't really do too much for you, other than if you own a business, and that's a whole nother topic. Writing off the interest,
right,
or mileage. Same thing with a home. If you pay interest, you get a tax write-off at the end of the day. Now, I'm a firm believer in mortgages from the beginning, but I've since learned that lines of credit are way better. right? And that's a whole. You're gonna have to YouTube.
Your line of credit
bit.
will determine your interest.
No.
No.
A line.
That's why I'm asking. I'm listening.
I told you, listen.
I'm listening. That's why I'm listening. I'm just like, wait a minute.
What we call it, if you own a home, right? So I don't get too far ahead. If you buy a house, the first thing you want to do is when you want to get in the house, and the first part of that, and I'm gonna back up just a little bit because this doesn't get talked about enough. Your first step to being wealthy or being rich or owning a home starts with the individual. Do you show up to work on time? Do you do what you're supposed to do at work? And listen, I'm guilty of this too. I'm not 100% when I'm at work all the time, right? But your work ethic, right? So
I got good.
If you like right now, you're trying to provide a good product, right? And you're hoping that people will listen and see value in what you're doing, and then you'll get more, right? God says that, and forgive me because I do that a lot. I have a relationship with the Lord. He was faithful over little, be trusted with much, right? If you're not a good steward of what you have, that's what you have in your hand, then why should He bless you with more? So I always even with my kids, look, your work ethic, and that's a choice. There's something you have to start with, right? So then it becomes, if you have a solid work ethic, you could have a solid budget. What you do with your budget, what you do with your finances. Because I don't know if you guys heard of Dave Ramsey, and I'm not.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Is. Yep.
Gazelle intense, and every penny should have a place. When you get to a certain stage, you don't have to be gazelle intense, and that's kind of I lack there sometimes because I'm like, I don't need to budget every penny, but I should, right? So I wanted to say that because before you get into all this other stuff, it starts with you. It starts with the individual. Look at the person in the mirror and say, hey, look, if I was working for me, would I fire me?
Ooh, boss.
No, I wouldn't fire me.
Boss.
Yeah, we're gonna timestamp that.
Right? And it'll help change your perspective, right? I'm gonna give you another one again. God says, slaves work unto their masters, although they work unto the Lord. And that in itself has helped me in a way I don't have time to explain it. But I don't work for that person. I work for Him through that person. Right? Now, if you're working for Him, you really want to do what you think you're doing.
Jay, what I've been telling you.
Right? He says, if you do that, I'll bless you. Right? So let's get back to
all right.
the credit, real estate.
All right.
I want to say, I think it's 680, 720 for a score. Right? And again, I've given
Hold up though, because the thing when it comes to the score, see, they give you, like, when you see the 3.9, the 1.9, see, the higher your score is, the lower the interest rate will be.
Because you're less of a risk.
Yes. See, that's why that had to be explained. Because, like, when I have a great credit score, so when I go in there, it's going to be 0.9 or something, because, again, they're going to know he's the type of person that's going to pay it off quickly, and they ain't going to make money off of me. So the higher that they feel you're a risk,
the more you're going to pay for the money that you borrow.
Correct.
So there's a lot of different ways to go right now, and that speaks to first getting a home, right? And I'm gonna segue to this. There's another thing I tell my kids: when you're buying a home, first and foremost, it's location.
Location's always the prime.
Location.
Because that determines taxes. That determines all these different things if you want to pay. Because I know, like, North Providence taxes are way higher than like something in, like, in Coventry, like those type of things.
That's important, but that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, I know, but that's what I'm talking about.
It is important. And I don't mean to take away from you.
Oh, I know.
So
that's what I do. I put in little different things.
The first home that I bought, right? When I say location, it's central to my job, where I used to work. It's central to there's a supermarket. There's a school right next to it. If there's a school right next to it, that deters drug dealing. Because the crime,
talk.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yes.
You go to
group homes. He gonna get into that.
You pay a heavier fine with the system. You get caught doing drugs around school, right?
Yeah.
This home is central to 146, 95, north and south, 195, right? A hospital's not too far away. I think there's a police station not too far away, right? That's location. So, and that's important. For two reasons. If you go to sell, it's a magnet.
Yeah, people gonna want that.
They're gonna want it.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
What you like? There's 3 family for me. Not 3 family. 2 family, but 3 bedroom in any house is kind of like the standard boy, girl, 2.5 babies. You know what I mean? So that's an attraction. Central air, an attraction. Off-street parking is attraction. I get at my house in Providence. Some drastic things happened not too long ago, but as soon as the things happen,
you can speak on that if you like.
All right, so last February there was a gun shoot. And you guys familiar with that? With the Providence police? Man sticking the window out.
Right. Okay.
It was my house.
Oh yeah.
Right?
That's right near my job. Yep. That's the crazy guy.
Stuck the gun out the window, started shooting the tear gas.
Yeah.
It's a serious.
Flygurl saying he was on the scene. I was trying to get in there. I was going through back streets, side streets. I got to your house.
You looking at YouTube and your shit's on fire. Pardon me, I'm sorry.
No,
but it's. And I'm sitting in a restaurant having breakfast, and they got this on the news, and dude's sitting next to me says, "Wow, that's crazy." I said, "It sure is." He goes, "Yeah." I said, "I can."
Hold up.
That's my house.
Pause that. I'm sitting having breakfast,
watching my
you
house.
Get that news. Think about that. Go ahead.
You feel me?
Yeah.
All right. But I mean, to carry out that too, and folks, I ain't say what race or another, but folks don't always do things the right way. And the importance of doing things the right way, whether it's car insurance, home insurance, life insurance, all of that damage is a check in my house for $250,000 to fix that home, to get it back where it's supposed to. So do things the right way. Knowledge is power, right? Whatever you do, there should be a plan, and I'm guilty of this because I'm always winging.
Should be a backup plan too, just in case the plan falls through.
See, that's a woman with a single mom, right?
Yep.
No, I already knew that. I'm playing. I already knew that. But most single women, they got plan after plan, and then the plan behind that plan.
Yep, just
and
in
if
case.
that don't go right, I got this over here.
Yep.
Because they get kids and whatnot, and I really appreciate listening to that. I don't want to go back to that, but it was interesting. You got some funny views too.
I am. That's what I'm here for.
She brings that.
So doing things the right way when you do them, right? And that comes from information, getting knowledge. YouTube. I was gonna say YouTube and Google are my best friend, and TikTok. TikTok lately has been on the game. Well, if you don't know about that gives you exposure to things you may or may not know, and I'll speak a little bit towards wealth building. Like Tommy, we was just having a conversation in the truck. He's like, "Yo, you there's paycheck to paycheck," and this was some chat stuff on TikTok. There's rich and then there's wealthy. What do rich people do? They make plans, they budget, they do this. What do wealthy people do?
No.
And there's some things that they do, right? So, but having a plan and having knowledge and how to follow that and what you do. I mean, part of what this is too, which you're trying to give information, you're trying to give value to people. Yes. Hey, look, I want to show you some things or teach you about some things you don't know that you don't know.
Whoa, say that again, please.
Teach you about some things that you don't know that you don't know.
Good job, Sam.
Right? So not everybody knows about CDs, how to use them to, not as investment tools, but as credit fixing tools.
Yeah.
That's what I'm glad you said that. Hold up, Scott. Because I was telling CJ, like, I was showing CJ all my financial structure, and I have a CD. And I'm telling him, like, until I know what I want to invest my money in, I leave it there because I'm going to get more interest on that than anywhere else, because there's different type of ways of making money off of your money.
Right.
But unless you know how to properly invest it, because most people want to do it in stocks, Bitcoin right now, but here's
in the tank.
Yeah, right, toilet. Exactly. That's my point. So
I put some money in Bitcoin, kind of upset about it.
Because again, that's my whole point of, I didn't get in Bitcoin because I didn't fully understand it or know about it. And I was just like, I know when it first started, it was big because everybody wasn't into it. Like when I had 35,000, I was ready to invest because I was like, I could make money off of this. But the people that knew about it didn't want to tell me about it. So I didn't make the money off that I could have made off it. And I was just like, nah, it's oversaturated. So I'm not joining it because I know once something get oversaturated, it devalues it.
So it's funny you say that because I just took an investment online thing. Spent a little money for it. But you can make money even when the market's tanking.
Correct. I agree.
Right? There's you basically short a stock. If you can, and there's ways to look at the market, and there's things that you. Hold on, I'm sorry.
Busy man. That's why I told y'all to cut your.
Hey, let me call you right back. Right? I'm in a meeting.
Keeping that in
Hold on a
too.
second. All right, I'll explain it.
Hey,
when
people,
I get done.
doing
Hold on.
things.
You back. Me not gonna.
So when you
What did you just say?
when you
Bert knows.
Go ahead, Troy.
Condo.
Go ahead, Troy.
like we in where I work.
Postal.
Well, I'm trying not to do that.
No, we doing a show called Going Postal.
Well, I can't. So I'm a manager,
Oh, okay.
and I'm responsible for anything that's said with that brand.
Oh, okay.
So we'll leave it at that. All right.
Pause. Yep.
You can put that on hold.
Yeah, you go ahead, Troy.
What were you saying?
I was saying about how when something get oversaturated, it devalues what.
Right. So, and even like if we're talking about real estate, the real estate market, right? It's not saturated right now. That first house that I paid about $200 for, we're about $450 right now.
That's good.
But
Right.
hold on. When did you buy it?
2008.
Okay, that's
2008.
different. 2008, 2022.
Right. So, well, now that's
Because it
That's
grows.
a-
Because what happens is it grows.
Yes.
well,
it
you
grows.
gotta understand something.
But you also
too.
got to keep it
There's more to than that.
maintained, so it can stay that way.
As a rule of thumb, something I learned from, I don't know, it was a course or something I took. Real estate appreciated about a rate of 5% yearly,
Ooh.
right? Annually. Now, I can tell you that wasn't the case when I first bought it because the market was tanking. So I bought that house for $2 and change, and like a year later, it was only worth $180 according to the market. Well, what's going on right now?
Was it a single family, double family?
It was a duplex.
Duplex. Oh yeah.
Now, and when you buy, how you buy, right? It depends on what you. I got off track on this. What your needs are, what your wants are, and what you can afford. Those are my 3 kind of golden rules.
Say
Right?
that again, please. They need to hear that.
What your needs are,
What your needs are,
what your wants are,
what your wants are,
and what you can afford.
what you
All
can
right.
afford.
Now, who doesn't want to drive a Benz? Right? Can you afford it?
S550 is my favorite car.
All right. It's funny.
I know you had those.
I can
Listen,
rent it. I can rent
a-
one.
I had a CLK 430. I had a CLS 500.
Yeah.
Right? And here's the strange thing. If you were to drive through South Providence, people don't even know my name. You know what they say?
Nice
Yo,
car.
you to do with the Benz.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you can't afford that, find out what's within your budget. But just at the very very minimum, what meets your needs, right? Car ain't nothing but transportation,
Tell them.
A to B,
Tell them.
right? When it comes down to it, I don't get me wrong. I like nice things. I have nice things, but my truck is 2008 EXT. Do I need a new truck? Do I want one? I probably do. Do I need one? No.
You have 2 of them, so don't.
The platinum's my wife's.
I know it doesn't, but yo, the fact that you bought your wife a platinum truck.
Well, praise God. That had
Amen.
nothing.
Amen.
That's his provision.
Troy, the fact of the matter, I try to teach Sandy. When I sit up there and say, you bought your wife.
All right, so this is. I don't want to get off track, but this was major for me. My dad had passed, and some things had happened. We ended up buying the house I live in now for a certain number, which is worth almost double the number.
That's what's up.
And I took out a line of credit, and we could speak to that if you wanted to at some time.
You speak on that,
But,
because they didn't even say that.
It's an experience it's 2 things. When you got 6 figures in your account, they talk to you different at the bank.
Talk
They
that talk.
just talk to you different.
That talk.
When you were, I was sitting at the thing, and the teller looked down at the thing and looked at me. I'm like, "How you doing?"
They
Right,
don't even call you by your first name. They call you by your last name.
Mr. Scott, how you doing?
Talk.
Right? I can go on for days like with situations like that. But then it's when you walk into a dealership, and before this truck, I bought my wife a 750 Li. And I mean, you no matter what, always be prudent in how you spend your money, and always look for a deal, right? Don't just spend money just to spend it. But even then, I had to haggle with this guy, trading in my old car, bought this car. But when you walked in, you sit down. So, sir, what are you gonna do? You gonna finance? I said, no, I'm gonna write you a check. And then all the people in the room go. I know you can't see that on microphone, but they turn their heads. Everybody's looking at you.
No, they heard you loud and clear.
All right? We're paying cash.
They got a visual.
Because when I say I'm using my credit card, they be like, what?
Right.
And they don't like that because they lose money.
Right. So
no commission.
If it does nothing other than drive you, man, you don't know what you don't know. And that shouldn't be your reason to do or to be wealthy, right? Or to have prosperity. That's a Bible term. It should like when I was 30 something?
I'm 45 now.
Who said it was 30 something?
He's 30.
I'm 30.
We all not 40. We're 40.
When I was driving a Benz, I didn't need to buy a Benz. When I tell you, in 2008 when I bought that house, I was living for this. My mortgage was $1,500. I had a tenant on the side of me paying $1,000. Had a VA check for $500 a month. Zero. Other than water, taxes, and electric bill, cable bill.
Insurance.
If I had took that money, knowing what I know now, and stuck it into a EFT or some kind of fund, right? The same thing that TSP does or IRAs do. Just do it yourself. Just be a whole different conversation, right? $1,000 a month for at least the past 20 years into something earning 15%. Those numbers get funny real quick. So, but that speaks to not knowing what you don't know and having a mindset of, and forgive me, this is just a bad term, of poverty.
Nah, speak the real, because
so
they need to hear this.
Living paycheck to paycheck, right? There was, this reminds me of something else. Like I was going through something, and that's why I love my wife. My job was jumping, and our income got stricken a little bit at the time. And she said, "Well, we don't need this. We don't need this. We can without that. We can shut this cable off. We can do this, this, and this." And I was like,
"Perfect.
That's what us.
Fit.
That's what we do.
Right? So even though
that's what us ladies do. We were like, "What? We don't need something." Cut.
It taught me that if you can do without that going through crisis, when you're out of the crisis,
you can still go through without it.
You can still go without it. And that speaks to something you were saying earlier about, hey, my car, no, I'm just gonna pretend I still have it, and I still. But where you put it, right?
It went into my vacation
here,
fund.
I'm trying to keep track of this in my head.
Cool. I got a question. Knowing what you know now, right? What are the things that people can do to pay off a mortgage early?
There you go. All right. So
use your taxes is what I heard.
Yes. All right. That's absolutely. So let me say something. Please remember that question. I may need you to repeat it to me.
I got you.
My wife did something 3 years ago when we moved into our new home. She bought an apple tree. And her reason for buying it, she wanted fruit in the yard and something to grow as the kids were, to, have a parallel to the time from when we got there.
You hear that, Sandy?
So I think she paid like $35 for this tree. And
how much?
$35 Home Depot or something like that, whatever the case may be.
I've seen them.
Been growing for 3 years. It struggled for a little bit, but last year it made about 2-3 pounds of apples. Well, what's a pound of apples go for right now?
Like $6.99, $5.99.
Nah, apples are cheap because I get apples.
Oh, I'm thinking the bag. Sorry.
No,
that's
You're right.
She's exactly right.
Bananas are cheap. Bananas are cheap. My fault. I'm sorry.
But apples, let's just say $5 to make it simple.
Yeah.
$35 investment. Well, let's say 30 for easy math. 3 years later, it turned 3 pounds of apples. Right? So that's $15.
15, yeah.
That's a 50% investment on the tree. The tree's always going to be there. Well, you take care of it. It's going to make more apples.
More apples.
All
there
right.
you go. Apple juice, apple pie, apple.
See, that's a single mom right there.
That's some things that if I was wifey, I'd be like, all right, I'm going to start selling apple pies.
You ready?
Yep, let's go.
It's an
Drop
asset.
the gem.
And there's a lot on YouTube about liabilities to assets. And to caveat that, whatever you have should always be making you something. That's a wealthy man's mindset.
Whatever you have, always be making.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
a house is an asset, right? And before we even get into that, because I know I said this before, it's important to me I say it. As a culture, as a people that aren't, I don't say it's anybody really. We need to stop living off our seed.
Say that again, and go in depth with that.
So, Bible says this is a time of seed and harvest, right? God don't give you harvest. Thank you, Father. He gives you seed.
Yep. Amen.
Your job ain't your feed. Are you hearing me?
Your job ain't your feed.
Your
Gotcha.
job is your seed.
Yes.
I tell C this all the time.
Right? That paycheck you get, learn to live on as minimal as if it is possible.
I try. Yes.
Right? And I know that, listen, let me be clear about something. I came from a household where my dad got hurt when I was young. My mom developed cancer. And there was times you come home, the light wasn't on. Or I worked at Burger King, right? Providence Place, where the TD Bank is, I think now.
Mm-hmm.
Banker's Court, as they used to call it. We didn't eat unless I brought something home. That's real talk.
Yo, so as a child, you was bringing something home
15,
for the
16,
parents.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want people to hear this.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's just because we were the Joneses in my neighborhood. Don't get it twisted. My dad drove a Cadillac. He got hurt and things just went south.
Yeah. Happens. Life issues.
Divorce and all this other things, life, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm grateful for it.
Because it made you stronger.
It amplifies the grind.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you something. I wish I had the grind of the people that I'm learning about now.
Back then.
Then. Or knew to have it, or what the importance of it was. I had it. I had it in me. I was just...
You just didn't know how to bring it out. Like, you know.
Well, I was struggling with life too. Like, man, this is...
Yeah.
Could I pause you on that statement?
Go ahead.
Though? Here's the reason why I say this. A lot of times...
Remind me of a question too. I don't want to get off track.
A lot of the times when I have conversation with people, a lot of people be sitting there, it's a form of regret that they sit up there and say, if I knew then what I know now. But you know what? You wouldn't be who you are right now.
That's true.
See,
I've actually heard you say that before too. Yeah.
You know what
Right.
you're doing.
Because going through a divorce helped me to be a better man for my wife now.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And a better father to my children now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But I said all a lot, and I wanted to remember your question because I do want to answer
I'll
it.
say, knowing what you know now, what are things people can do to pay off a mortgage early?
So there's a thing called a HELOC, right? Or even your credit card.
What?
HELOC, home equity line of credit. So what happens is
Line of credit.
when you buy a
Write this
home,
down.
you start
Just
a 30-year.
watch it again. Listen.
You start a 30-year mortgage, right? And after about 4 or 5 years, the bank's gonna come to you. Why? Because in the next 5 years, what should happen? Your house should what?
Need something.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Somebody's paying attention.
I told you this is what I do.
Okay.
What I do.
Oh, right.
Your house should be appreciated 5% annually, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, again, market, depending on what's going on, where, location.
Yeah.
So it should be worth more. You should have more equity because you've been doing what? Making principal payments, right? You get what's called the P&I, principal and interest, part of your payment.
Yep. I learned that.
The interest is a lot higher, right? Because it's front loaded. YouTube it. I'm gonna try to get into it as best I can, but you'll learn more about mortgages being front loaded with interest. You're gonna pay the same amount of interest. It's just front loaded in the front. You get a tax write off, and it's okay. There's a whole scheme to that, right? And as the years go on, you pay more of it goes towards principal, less goes towards interest, and it does that, right? So after 4 or 5 years, I guarantee you the bank's gonna be calling you, hey, this is Sandy.
Yes.
You want to refinance your house?
I was about to ask. I'm like, I hear a lot about people refinancing. Some people are scared of that.
Listen to what he's about to tell you.
What they're trying to do is you're paying a lot of interest. They're trying to keep you paying a lot of interest.
Yeah.
Right? That's why the bank buildings are higher now.
Star Wars is a trap.
Because I hear that a lot. People are like, oh, I think I'm going to refinance my house. I'm like, ain't that making your loan longer and stretching it out?
Now, it looks appealing sometimes depending on how your situation is set up, because you're only financing less money, so you're making lesser payments, and it looks attractive to that. But you're starting from 30 years again. I made that mistake, right? And it's not necessarily a mistake, because if you refinance if you can refinance and take out 80 grand and stick it to the stock market, you get an apple tree, right? And you're making the payments. But if you get a HELOC, right, you can essentially, it's your own line of credit. And what I like a lot about what I learned about HELOCs is home equity line of credit. Whatever equity you have in your home, don't refinance your home. Get a line of credit on that equity. Now you got to be able to afford it, because you're talking about an extra note, but it's a lot cheaper than a mortgage, right? Usually, and it depends on how you look at it, because when you get a HELOC, the interest is always here at the bottom. Whatever, 3%. That's like 3%.
Principal.
It's not the principal. Don't confuse people. The interest is what you pay to borrow the money, right? Now, it's compounded daily, not amortized over 30 years. So if anybody you have a house?
No, but I'm working.
He's the only person that own a house in here.
If you look at your P&I statement, the interest on it is high, but you get a write-off for that at the end of the year. Not so much with a HELOC, but you want to buy a house for $200,000 and finance it over 30 years, or after the first 5 years, if I've made enough payments to where, and this is, I'm just guesstimating here, where you're at 180, right? You got $20,000 worth of equity. To borrow that $20,000 is pennies on the dollar. What you basically do is you take the amount that you're borrowing. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Times the percentage divided by 365. So if you took the 20, you got to take your calculator out, right? If your phone's not off.
No, my phone's on. Go ahead.
If you took 20,000, right?
So we going 20,000
times let's say 0.04. 0.04 equals.
Yep.
Divide that by 365.
Merc gonna have to do that. Here, Merc. 20.
You don't know how to work your calculator? Oh my God.
I don't want my phone to
How
be
you not
going
know
off
how to
while I
work
do it.
numbers, kid?
20,000 times 0.04. Yeah, he's got it right there on the screen, yeah.
Divided by 365 is 2.19.
So it's to borrow that money.
Tommy can't work a calculator.
No, I did the same. No, I used to
Dante.
do numbers like that.
All right, so it's going to cost you $2 a day to borrow that 20 grand.
That's
times 30 is what? $60.
65.
To borrow $20,000.
$65.
Well, for
whatever.
For any information, see, I'm not a borrower. I'm a lender, so I don't know how to do math like that.
Right.
You never learned calculator in school?
The fact of the matter,
I'm glad you said that. Lend to yourself is what I'm trying to get to.
I know, right?
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I don't see when I had the numbers, but when I seen a number go from 20 to 800, I'm like, that's not my understanding. So as soon as
that's why you had to times it and play with the number so you can get the equation correctly.
Reel it in. Bring it in.
Hold up. Hey, Sandy, you want to know what?
What, honey?
See, I don't know everything.
Aww.
So I made sure somebody that knew. That's why.
So hold on. I want to get back to answering your question.
Yep.
And this is exactly how it answers that.
Mm-hmm.
So you got a $200,000 mortgage, right? And I just spoke about 20 grand.
Yep.
Well, if you could figure out a way to pay that extra 20,000 off, and you're only paying $60 to borrow it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we said?
Yep, 65.
You could put 500 towards that. That's 420 that's going towards the principal of your HELOC, right?
Mm-hmm.
420 a month is about $4 grand. So in 5 years, you should have that HELOC paid off.
20 something. Yep.
HELOC. I'm thinking about putting somebody in the headlock. I'm like,
So,
what does it even
this
mean?
dude, man.
Like, see, I don't talk this language. This is what I told you when he was.
I'm trying to help you, man.
When he was talking to me the first time when I said, I was like, nah, you gotta come explain this yourself. I can't. No, listen.
You can't grasp
I'll put
it.
you in a headlock. Listen, $2
HELOC.
a day.
He ain't trying to be right. He's trying to. Yeah. So, and I guess the example I'm using is tough because it would take
it's good. It's good information.
it would take you 5 years to pay that off, and then 15 if you did that 3 times, it'd be 60 grand. But now, along that 5 years, you're still making your mortgage payment, right? So your principal is coming down. Now, a rule of thumb is, and if you YouTube it, right, there's plenty of it on there, velocity banking. Basically works out to be where you can have your mortgage paid off in anywhere from 8 to 10 years. And if your house appreciates over 10 years at 5%, right? That's $1,000. Your house, your $200,000 house should be worth $220, and it's paid off.
Does it ever go backwards? Can your house, you know how, because this happened to one of my friends. They were saying that they bought a house for 200-something thousand. They're about to sell it, maybe because it's the stock market, and now their house is only worth like 100-something thousand.
Whoa, where they live at? Location.
So again, that's if they're going through that right now, something's wrong.
Yes.
Yes. I think it's because it's what's going
fire right now.
Yeah. Well, I think it's because they have a lot of damages in the house, and they're trying to figure out, if they should just
sell the house. And that still depends on location. Because I'm gonna I'll use one of my homes as an example. The house I grew up in, right? And I just had a realtor come to my house. I'm not sure if I want to keep it or sell it. And I paid $60 for it because I had to pay my dad's debt to get the house. But right now, in the first and third floor, gutted to the studs. And they're telling me, we'll get you $270 for your house as it is. And if I were to go online, it's like right around $370, right? So there's something drastically going on.
So they're trying to lowball you.
Well, the house needs work.
It needs a lot of work.
It needs a lot of work.
But hold up, you just said that they could give you $270, but it's worth more.
If it's fixed up,
if
and
it's fixed
perfect.
And it's perfect, then they can give you that
Obviously
money. But
more.
if there's things wrong in the house,
but
like my friend, her house, she has like foundation issues, things like that,
but
sinking, all that. So she was just like,
y'all saying. They know you could get more.
You're not listening, Tommy.
I'm trying to hear this.
The house could be worth $380.
Yep.
But if it's gutted to the studs, that means there's no insulation, there's no sheetrock, it needs electrical work, it needs plumbing, probably needs a new paint jobs. The roof is decent. All that needs to be accounted for. And in this time of where inflation, everything costs more. Labor,
almost
lumber.
3 times.
Lumber
like
is
2 months ago.
ridiculous right now.
Yeah, there's people who can't even find lumber.
All of that costs more. Now, what does that do? It makes houses worth more. Right? And even for those who want to come and fix them up, they're gonna have to, unless you're a contractor or you're handy. I mean, I could probably do it myself. I did it once already in my dad's house.
I've done sheetrock before. I could put tiles on the floor. I could do a couple of them things.
Right? So it may be worth $380, but $270 is not a far stretch if it needs all the work that I know that it needs.
Yeah, yeah. If someone else wants to pay it,
now,
take it.
If I take the $270, what do I have? I'll walk away with probably about $150 after it's all said and done, because there's still mortgage on it.
Right, I get it. I get that.
I got $150 grand in my hand.
That you could put into something else.
My house that I owned that went on fire, I only owe $170 on it. Now I own the house.
Right.
You could put
What
that
I do? Mortgage it off for $400. Right? OPM, other people's money. Right?
Yep.
Let somebody else. This is how this does. This is it. I can rent my Denison house out for at least $1,500 aside. That's $3,000 a month. And I got $400,000 in my hand, and somebody else is gonna pay it. The responsibility is mine. The debt is mine, but I'm not really in debt if somebody else is paying it.
Correct.
Right.
Even before that thing happened, I had a Section 8 tenant in there. I was getting $1,375, $1,400 a month.
Did you hear about the new thing that they're doing right now in Rhode Island, the $3,000 initiative for the landlords who are accepting homeless people?
No, I did not. See, you just gave me a gem.
Also, all right,
I'm not really in that situation to do that right now.
Oh, okay.
Because none of my places are.
But no, listen, they'll give you another $3,000 to fix up your place if you let them move in. So that's $6,000, and they'll give you an extra $1,000 for every other unit you have in your apartment. So right now, Rhode Island, if you own a home, you better get on this program. It just dropped like 2-3 days ago.
There's a bunch of programs because Precious hit me with a program or something, or they'll pay your rent or something. I'm not really in debt with it, but she was telling me.
Yeah, rent relief will pay your rent.
Oh, bam. So go ahead.
Yeah, but I just want to throw that gem.
I don't want to disrespect CJ because I was trying to answer his question. So yeah, the best way to pay off a home early is to get a HELOC, right? And grind out, right? Get another job or get a side hustle. This here, right?
You better work that apple tree.
I know for a fact you get enough viewers, somebody be calling you, hey, put me up on your commercial and your little, get you a little All right.
You get it.
So I understand the game.
Yeah, that's what's up.
I'm 50 something. I'm trying to.
So if you're buying a house, so like for me, my plan is to buy a house. I'm debating between buying a duplex or a 3-family as my beginner house. But some people are telling me I should buy my first single house first and then work on my triple.
Why would you do that?
That's what I said.
If you can afford a duplex or even a 3-family, that's income. I'm going to tell you something. Maybe you don't notice. You're going to get more money, be able to borrow more money. Because the banks will see that other rental property as income
for them
to supplement your income to qualify you for more of a loan.
So as far as saving, how much you believe somebody should have for a down payment?
So
Hold up. Keep that question.
All right.
The HELOC was how you pay your house off earlier.
All right.
Or credit cards too.
Yeah.
Don't forget that question. We're going to close out because we got them for another hour.
So
that was an hour already?
Yeah, I know. The information, baby. Information.
49.
That's what happened. See, that Magic Johnson, no look. I'll make sure we facilitate. Yo, listen. Tell them how they can get in touch with you. We're here. You keep me for another hour. Don't worry about it. Go ahead.
So,
if you want to be in contact,
my business is Polos First, LLC, and that speaks to real estate. Like I'm a landlord,
right?
And it's easy to remember because it's praise our Lord and Savior first. Polos First.
Get him.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Preacher boy.
My
said he called me.
my other than my cell phone is my business number, so it's just 401-744-1251. But again, it's just, and I like I said, I'm just the everyday cat.
And you're doing it.
There's
a lot of information that a lot of people, if they need any type of help and any type of housing, reach out to our boy Troy.
When I was younger, I used to love to hang around older people. I hate saying that because it makes it sound like
no. I said the same thing.
Yeah, he says it all the time.
There's so much untapped wisdom that you're just letting walk by you. Like before my dad passed 2014, God was his soul. We used to have Thursday night dinners at his house, and I knew that he didn't have much more time, so I wanted my kids to know him, and I wanted to promote for my siblings a time where we could tap into
the youth.
The wisdom.
Oh, the wisdom, yeah, for the youth.
For them.
Listen, shorty.
I'm listening. You know me, I'm just...
So, and I know CJ spoke of this, like we was at work and this cat was talking to me and he was trying to help me. My heart is to pass on or to give to people what I know. And one of the things I like to say is I like to give people information. Not that my information is the best or whatever the case may be. I'm not there.
It's knowledgeable,
right?
Knowledgeable.
But whatever decisions you decide to make, you can make an informed one. And that's really, really important. And if you can't pass, what am I doing here if I can't pass something down?
Get your hand out my pocket. I say this all the time.
And I haven't.
Hold on, True. Yo, the floor is yours next. I just want to acknowledge investors. Go ahead and acknowledge that. Say your last moments, because we're going to get into the next hour. I just want to make sure that, because you know how we do with our
yeah.
So go ahead.
Again, another special shout out to the people who contributed and everything like that. I want to give a special shout out. I'm going to say your name again. My brother Keith, my homie Marquise, Charles Lewis, Reggie, everybody down there, West Blockton, Alabama, Highway 5.
Alabama Highway 5.
We appreciate you. Also, we appreciate you too, Valerie.
Oh, it's Sandy, Flygurl Sandy, or just Sandy, you know me. That's it. That's all I want to say.
That was kind of quick.
Okay, you want me to say more? Flygurl Sandy, we out here in the scene. We chilling with our boy Troy, learning all this good information. I'm just soaking it all up in. And then when I sit down and have my house, I might call you to be like, yo.
Might or you will?
Oh, I will call you to be like, yo, some information, please.
Call my wife.
Oh, she can come.
Listen, again, health, healing, solution, conversation. This is not a podcast. We're going to make sure you learn what you need to learn to be efficient and effective for your building, for your own individual building. Yes, I believe in God too, so I can understand where he's coming from. And another shout out we want to give is to Mert in the Baller Room, because again, y'all don't know the work this man put in for this to be done properly. So I want to make sure I give him a personal shout out because we greatly appreciate him. And if it wasn't for him, what y'all hearing, what y'all seeing would not be done. So with that being said, we're going to keep our brother Troy another hour. And you who?
Don't get emotional?
I'm
like, huh? What? I'm lost now. I'm Flygurl.
CJ.
And I am bougie. Yeah, see, I'm gonna say that for the rest of my life.
That's
Don't get emotional. I just wanna.
Cut it.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or a repetition of the events that have taken place here recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough. And it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate.
Eyes of Malcolm, voice of Martin, face of Emmett Till. What I speak on will be real, no Cypress Hill. Stone is the way I walk, live in a glass house, don't dorm. That's what they told them. Yet I'm still hit with them. Are y'all victims when we speak in violence? Been taking us out, want us to be silent. Put a sock in them, don't address Stockholm Syndrome. Wait, let's lay out the symptom. Color of skin in your eyes is a sin, but for one blood was made all creation. Is this true or not? When I tell a lie, then you can press stop. Can my words be my demise, or will they finally open up some eyes? Are we blind to the truth or blind to the roots? Get to know my name, it's Dylan Roof. When I wanna show y'all respect, let me put a knee on your neck. Nah, this ain't a threat. Say you can't breathe, got you a check. Come on, work out, don't sweat. No pain, no gain, sell your soul for the fame. Will you live forever in at what cost? You found dollars, left your people lost. Athletes care about their merchandise, and you seek them out for advice. Ever wonder why we are where we are? Should be seeking God, not seeing stars. Can we tell the hope? View the picture clearer, see it through my scope.
I think this is the most difficult thing that I think that I have ever had to do in my life. The discussion that we are going to have today.
Lend me your ear for a second, get this on record. Nothing sharp about Al nor his pal Jesse. Actions not affirmative, question their motives. Why? What have they ever give? Receive our guests and say we are blessed. Since civil rights, this what we have left. Shall we overcome? Not serving each other. Red rum, think backwards. Was hit with great tactics. 6 feet deep, cause we don't have standards. Bloodbath of a black man. That's why we underground tug, man. Remember the Million Man March? Wasn't watching them, our children. Did they grow up to be like him? The man y'all said to be the problem. Where are the solutions? They derail Oscar Grant. Only cotton picked off a clothing rack. Never whips on my back, nor push to the back. No holes in the front while standing side to side. Then I find myself after I went to hide. This ain't reality. Social media are real to me. Be who I wanna see, what I don't have. Who am I really wearing this mask? We about to be exposed. Hear a few things like to say before I close. Am I a coon? Cause the world don't consume. I say it will end soon. Investors are ancestors. This is how we paid our fall.